The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is Universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Well, hit. It's a relative word. Right there, you're implored to hit it. The Dan Hickens spin a hit today. The text line is kind of
Maybe.
Yeah, kind of
Mixed results, as per usual. The Dan Hicken hit, Jockstrap Hero. You'll hear it again, I promise. Getting the feedback. Some good, some bad. Dan, what have you done? This may be better than a Jags day. I think Dan would agree.
Oh, wow.
As he's become a heel tone hater. Two different people both texted in, please stop. Oh, my God, Dan, no, just no. That was immediately followed by, yes, another classic. And finally, that song sucks.
So it's mixed results when Dan calls in and asks you, because you know that with great interest and intensity, he's going to need some positive feedback.
I think this pretty much sums it up. I usually hate the songs, but as with everything Gardner Minshew, I love it.
Well, Minshew kind of cleans it up a little bit. It's like putting it through the car wash when it's a Minshew tune. You know, a player that you can get behind.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
This is just popped in. Give Dan a Grammy. So I don't think he'd win a Grammy on that one, but I'm not sure.
Maybe like an honorary Grammy for all his
but it
career
would have
work.
to be like in the parody department, and he just doesn't quite have the same resonance as Weird Al.
Yeah,
I'm
who's got
saying.
basically
These
all
things
of them.
would be fantastic if Dan could actually sing.
Well,
Are there
would they?
people who hear that and think? And Hick knows that I know that he can't sing, so I'm not being. This isn't mean-spirited, but imagine if, like, the voice was good. We could have some real hits on our hands. Are there people out there that have a different, like, tone awareness than we do that maybe think that is good singing, or no? Or do they just know it's fun and his love, his passion for the lyrics and for the song is what carries it?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Play it again.
The tune hits
we
people's-
will play it again.
we will play it
Trust
again.
me. I mean, we're like the Big Ape with a new Bruno Mars track when it comes to these things. So, you know, like once an hour minimum. I love you people. You're so funny, most of you. Some of you are like mean, bitter losers. But most of you, I won't call you out specifically. There's like 2 or 3 people on the text line that are just miserable people. But most of you have fun and you get it. So, Mr. 10, Jockstrap Hero, 3.5 ice picks to the ears. Not a big fan.
See, so it's a hit.
Not a big fan. All right, let's attack the 10-minute drill. Let's talk about some other storylines. Friday 5-pack is coming up bottom of the hour.
Let's get rich.
All your favorites in the 8 o'clock hour as well, including Tap 5 at 8. We're going to talk to Matt Hayes. We're going to call on his Bleacher Report experience as a college football columnist and analyst for them and talk some college ball with him. Efforting Pat Dooley for a Gator perspective this morning as well. But for now, it's the 10-minute drill.
Let's hit it.
This was the part where he usually asks me questions.
Oh.
Beef has forgotten the format of the 10-minute
I'm
drill.
like reviewing Dan's 5-pack. Like,
Yes,
here
you
goes
are.
Jim.
Right. That's correct. I think you're supposed to be the one that kind of guides us through this discussion. I mean, I can start if you want. How about that? I'll give you time to play catch up. But
please do.
There was one story yesterday that really caught my eye. And did anyone see what Tony Romo did?
A 2-under, right?
Tony Romo went 2-under at a PGA Tour stop yesterday. I could now play the game, you know, that we like to play in these scenarios. Look at all the people that Tony Romo beat. Now, usually when you play that game, it's because you're following a non-PGA golfer, and he'll shoot like 5 over, but he still beat Duffy Waldorf, right? Like a guy can finish 120th out of 130, but you can find 2 or 3 or 4 guys who are below him. Tony Romo, after the first round of a PGA Tour stop, they're playing the Safeway Open, and it's a good field. After the first round, Tony Romo is 2 under par. He is in the top 30 of the golf tournament. Tony Romo is T28, so I can't help myself. I'm going to tell you a sampling of PGA Tour players Tony Romo beat yesterday with a 2 under par first round and is now certainly in position to make a cut for the first time. Now, think about it. Tony Romo's doing football every week, gang. I don't know if it's appreciated how much of a range rat PGA golfers are. They practice so much, guys. 6 and 8 and 10-hour sessions of working on short game, long game, irons, drivers, testing new
Thousands
clubs,
of strokes,
performance clinics, putting lessons. I mean, they devote countless hours in a day to perfecting their golf game. Well, here's Tony Romo just showing up, playing PGA Tour events, and oh, by the way, we're in the middle of football season. Sunday, Romo will be in Atlanta or wherever. So here are the guys that Tony Romo beat yesterday. Jim Furyk. Tony Romo yesterday was better than Justin Thomas. He was better than, and the reason I'm giving you these names is to tell you as well, there are some good players in this tournament. This isn't a typical fall tournament where it's a bunch of former Korn Ferry Tour players that you've never heard of. This Safeway must have a little good deal with some players and somebody recruiting them for him because down the line, here are some of the other big names that Phil Mickelson. Well, he'll be on the list. Stand by. That Tony Romo beat yesterday. Jim Furyk, Justin Thomas, Emiliano Grillo, Hideki Matsuyama beat him yesterday. Harold Varner, who lives here in town, he beat him yesterday. Colin Morikawa, who was the newcomer last year, who took everyone by storm, a better score than him yesterday. He had a better day than Martin Laird. He had a better day than Daniel Berger, than Charles Howell III. He beat Charlie Hoffman and Brandt Snedeker and Bo Hostler, who he played with. He was better than Fred Couples. He was better than Phil Mickelson. Is that enough? 2 under par and in the top 30 for Tony Romo. Wow, what a first round at a PGA. I guess, by the way, he doesn't work Sunday because, lo and behold, he now may make the cut. Then what do you do? I mean, I'm assuming that he's not scheduled off. Maybe he is. That might be something I'll look up for a little bit later.
Jeff, last night, like you said, maybe not season-saving, but certainly a much-needed victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. But curiously enough, 422 yards later, and the only guy they seem to be talking about in Philly is a guy who doesn't play for them.
I'm sorry, B, repeat that for me.
I said, despite a win, 422 yards passing for Aaron Rodgers, and the only guy they're talking about in Philly is a guy who doesn't play for the Eagles.
Jalen Ramsey is really on their radar up there, and we talked a little bit earlier that the Eagles are going to have extra picks in the 3rd and 4th round for compensation of free agents lost. So, maybe a 1st and 3rd and a 1st next year you convince Philly to do. If I'm Philly, I would do that. They haven't experienced the Jalen Ramsey effect yet. Most players who force their way out like this and develop a reputation, it doesn't end with 2 stops, right? You look at Terrell Owens, Antonio Brown, Deion Sanders, any players that really spent as much time telling you how great they were as proving it, they usually end up in another 2nd or 3rd spot. By the way, Schefter tweeted if Romo makes the cut, he will not be calling the game on Sunday.
Yeah, Boomer is scheduled to be his fill-in.
Boomer will? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. It's coming through all over the place there. So, and it looks like then he will not be working on Sunday because what a round.
He's scheduled to be on the call for Bears-Vikings.
But the Eagles, with a very important win last night, did give up over 430 yards, nearly 430 yards passing last night. They have a glaring need in the secondary, and a player like Jalen Ramsey could make them the favorite in the East because of what they do so well in other areas. They have a Super Bowl winning or capable quarterback.
There are 5 more football Sundays before the NFL trade deadline. So, someone could get themselves in position to get real desperate.
And here's something, too. This being sick or, having these reasons to not practice, those work for a week. You can't do those every week if you're Jalen Ramsey. You're not allowed to just, be a healthy no-show without facing suspension and no cash. And then when that happens and you're there because you have to be, then it's just another layer of garbage that you're going to have to deal with as a franchise and a fan base.
Jeff, do you feel like yesterday the news that came out from the NFL shows that we finally found the happy medium, it appears, that maybe this will fast track, that the league has sort of abandoned the hope of an 18-game regular season and is now focused on a 17-gamer with a reduced preseason?
Well, listen, at the end of the day, this talking about schedule links, it's all meaningless. It's about cash.
Jeez, man.
When they get to the bargaining table and the players are told you're getting X amount billions more for adding this regular season game, then that will go through. I've heard people now back off, and I may be guilty of flip-flopping on this a little bit. I want the 17-game schedule. Now, maybe it was before the preseason, I wasn't so much in that. It didn't matter. 16. Now, look, if you're going to play 20 games, then stop playing 16 real and 4 fake. Let's play 17 real and 3 fake if we have to. And in order to do that, you're going to see a variety of concessions on the league's part. You're going to see extra cash. You're going to see perhaps a playoff field expanded. And you're going to see roster sizes expanded, which would all be wins for the players. That's it? We good?
I think we're good.
All right. I will mention it's just about completely over now in the races in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I think it's the National League field set, right?
Well, except for Milwaukee, St.
Positioning.
Louis. They can position who wins that division or not.
Whoever it is playing the Braves, right? Is that
Whoever
settled?
wins that division plays the Braves, and whoever wins the wild card game plays the Dodgers. That's correct. And over in the American League, the Rays are going to make it. Man, the Rays are amazing, dude.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm a big-time baseball fan, and I have a hard time off the top of my head referencing 6 Tampa Bay Rays, and they're really good with high 90s wins, and they're gonna beat Cleveland to the finish line. Bad loss for the Indians last night. They lost to the White Sox, and they're now 2 back of that final wild card spot with only 3 games to play. So that's just one little extra note there for no extra charge. We'll come back with the Friday 5-pack. Right now, caller number 4 at 641-1010 going to take home the 10-minute drill prize pack. That includes a pair of tickets to see Brantley Gilbert
Tonight.
at Daly's Place. That's tonight. And by the way, if you still want to catch that show, you can go to Ticketmaster.com. All right, back with the Friday 5-pack when we return. It's an All-American Friday brought to you by the A-Team of All-American Roll-Off and Recycling, now serving St. John's and Clay Counties.